Well, welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And yes, this is going to be our Rhinebeck recap.
Yes.
And yes, it didn't happen last week.
I was exhausted. We had to get up. We got up early to get to Rhinebeck by 9 to get good parking. And we did. We scored on the parking. And then we walked all around. We were there till, I think, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, one
At
or
least.
two. Yeah.
One or two, because we waited for
Shamika
and her mom, Sharma.
Yeah,
Sharmi. And lovely. We had such a good time meeting her mom. And, of course, Shamika's always fun. And then we went food shopping. And, food shopping in terms of buying bottles of New York State wine. And then we drove 2.5 hours back to Long Island. And I was just tuckered in. I'm sorry. So it's my fault that we did not record last week, but I was exhausted. So that's the way it is.
It happens.
We're here.
And we have our haul.
Yes, we do.
I went and picked it up to bring it back here.
Yes.
So do we want to talk about Rhinebeck first, or do we want to talk about what we've worked on?
Well, I finished something.
Oh, okay. Let's go for it.
I had a sock blank by Andy Sue.
I think so.
Andy Sue from Virginia. And I've had this for years. There's another sock that matches this in my sock drawer. So this is what I worked on at Rhinebeck. And I finished it while we were there on Saturday night.
Yeah.
So all done. I just wove in the ends. So it's all done. And now I have a finished sock. Okay.
Very good.
Yes.
Well,
shall we talk about...
I didn't finish anything just yet.
Oh, but you saw this.
But I did. Oh my goodness, that was a very exciting moment. On Friday at Untangled, we saw someone wearing the center point popover, and it was so good to see it in person. See it on someone. I think I just flipped that sleeve inside out. As one does.
As one does.
So I finished the sleeves while we were up there, and now I have finished the neckline, and I have started the short rows for the hood. So once that's done, I will then do as much on the hem as I have yarn for, because I actually had to add about 4 inches to each sleeve. And I did not account for that, silly enough, in my yarn calculations, because it is a drop shoulder. And typically on, drop shoulder things, I don't have to add as much, because it drops lower on my shoulder than normal. Right. So I was not expecting that, but that happens. So... it might just be slightly more of a crop than I had anticipated. But that's okay.
But at Indy on Friday afternoon, we saw someone who had finished the sweater, and it's a really cute sweater. Mm-hmm. Hers was a very crop top.
Yes.
She had not done the additional stitches for the hem.
No, she had, but not
very much.
She had just only done what was recommended. Whereas I'm going to probably do more.
Very cute. Very cute. So that will be a grand sweater.
Yes.
So, yes.
It was very exciting. I saw it in person. I was like, Ma!
Yes. All right, so let's talk about what we're working on then, and then we can go into the haul.
Sure. Okay. So I'm working on the Penguino for a coworker. And some really good colors. I think I'm going to go, so this is the navy and the gray, and I think I'm going to go to the gray and the tan, I think. For the front, and then the sleeves, we might stay navy. I don't know, because I think I want the collar to be this green. I don't have a lot of the green, so we're trying to use it judiciously. Okay. But we had an oopsie with this. I had cast on these stitches on Thursday while out with some coworkers. I cast them on this side. Doesn't really make a sleeve, an arm side if it's over here.
No.
So I had to rip that out. Now we're back, getting a move on.
Okay.
Didn't really lose much momentum because it is a quick knit, but more than anything else, it was just a little disappointing.
So this is my Rebel 2. And I also had a whoopsie. We were at a 1-year-old's birthday party yesterday, and I was knitting away. And when I got in the car to come home, I looked at it, I said, this is wrong. I had picked it up, knitted a certain way, obviously had to put it down, turned it around and knitted back this onto itself. Got back here and said, I don't understand. I've got the colors, I should be doing a light color, and instead I'm doing a dark color. This isn't good. So I realized I had to take it out. I thought I was going to have to take out an entire row, which was going to be hours, because it is hours to knit a row now. But turns out I only had to go to where I had turned and changed direction and then continue on. It was a bit of a fluff to make sure that I had all of the brioche stitches, because it's not as easy for me to pick up brioche as it is to pick up regular knitting. But I have not, I managed to not create holes that I couldn't cover. So I am now on row 1 of the penultimate pattern. So there's 8 rows, 8 times 2 rows in this pattern, then 8 times 2 rows in the next pattern, then it's bind off. So I'm really looking forward to finishing this shawl, and it will be deep enough by then. It's certainly getting that deep shape. So that's fabulous.
Oh, so it is work top down, and so now you're adding the little flower edges.
Yes. Yes.
Nice. Yeah. I was because I was like, wait, I thought this was, for some reason I thought it was bottom up. So I was like, I don't know how you've already done that.
Really difficult to envision this until I got some depth on it. So it's coming along. That is a Christmas present that will be exchanged at Thanksgiving. I had finished the little one's cardigan and put the penguin buttons on it, and it got given yesterday, or put away at her parents' house. So she's got a hat, and she's got the cardigan for her birthday. Her brother's Christmas present, which is the cardigan with the attached hood, is also up there.
Just in case.
Yeah, I'm going to finish this. And then there's something I want to start with my Rhinebeck or India Untangled yarn. As soon as I finish that, I know I have a lot of unfinished UFOs downstairs, but now that I know what's going on with my hand, I said full steam ahead. So I'll get to those. I will finish those because they're right there by the sofa. But I did want to get the Christmas and the birthday presents done. Now, as for the little one's Christmas present, you have an idea that you were going to show me.
Yes.
So we'll look at that after.
Yeah.
And depending on the look of that, we may buy something, or I may make a dress that I've been talking about. I think I finally found a stitch pattern I like for the bodice. So we'll see. But that's, the shawl, the brioche shawl takes a lot of work. Anything else?
No, that's all I've been knitting on. I have to pick up the sleeves of my Hento, which is what I wore on Sunday at Rhinebeck, and I got a lot of compliments on it, which was really exciting. But I have not picked that up yet because I want to finish the center point first, and then I'll go back to that. But I do want to get this Pinguino done. But also the Pinguino is a lot more portable.
Yes.
You know, especially with the short rows for the hood right now, I've got to count, you know, gotta make sure I'm not doing too much.
Right.
So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I guess
we're on to the haul.
We're on to the haul.
It's only going to be a partial haul, and I'll explain that later.
So we went up on Thursday. Thursday we did setup for India Untangled.
Yes.
Which was lovely.
It didn't go
and
so badly.
It went very quickly.
Yeah.
It did rain, so we didn't get to set up as much outside stuff as we had prepared to. So then Friday morning we got there and
about 7 o'clock.
Yeah, and we worked, and then we did some shopping.
Yes.
So do you want to go first?
I'll go first. I stopped by Verse. They're these people. And I've been trying to make myself a white cardigan for years. Only I don't like the look of the cardigans when I'm finished with them. So I bought 4 skeins of Verse hand-dyed fingering yarn.
This is their linen silk.
This is their alpaca silk linen.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually think it'll be warmish.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 4 skeins, which is 438 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 1,700 yards total by 4. And I've decided to do an ink with that. So that's my plan for this. The next thing I did was I wanted to, I was looking at grays. I think I've mentioned before, instead of going with hard black for a neutral, I'm going with grays. Only I didn't want to go with just a monotonal gray. So 29 Bridges, who was at India Untangled, had a medium gray with darker speckles in it. And I had, so I wanted 4 skeins. I wanted a sweater's quantity, and they didn't have, they had 2 skeins at that time. We as staff got to shop at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So the quantities that were left were somewhat minimal, but the dealers were offering to dye the yarn. So I paid for the yarn, and I should have 4 skeins coming to me
sometime soon.
Sometime in this next week. I don't have any specific plans for the gray with the speckles, so it'll probably go up there, actually over there. But I think it's a good neutral. I really like that. So,
Yeah.
And then this is what came in the India.
No, you also got these.
Oh, yes. And then at Katrinkles, I got these sock measures. So one is for children and one is for adults. And when I'm making socks for myself, I just knit until I get to the ankle bone and put my waist yarn in for my afterthought heel, and then knit on up. But if you're making socks for someone else, this allows me to know what, using their shoe size, how long to make the foot of the sock. And they have both American shoe sizes as well as European shoe sizes for both men's and women's and children. So these are going to be very helpful for me. So I'm very excited that I was able to get those. And they did mention that many people want to have negative ease in their socks. So you could look at this and say, well, my mother wears a size 9 shoe, so her foot should be about 25 millimeters, but
25 centimeters.
25 centimeters, but I should bring it back by about 1/4 of an inch, which would be
about 24.5 centimeters instead.
Yes, or 9.5 inches.
That's a 1/2 inch, Mom.
That's 9. That's a half.
Right, but that's it. That's almost 10 inches.
No, so I'm looking at the size 9 foot, which is here.
Ah, okay. So it'd be like 9 3/8.
9 3/8 or something like that.
9.5, yeah.
They did have a tool that would calculate that amount down for you, but I said, I can really think about that and make that decision. And certainly if I'm making a thicker sock, I might not want to draw it back quite as far.
It's also mentioned on the ruler.
Yes.
Adult socks should have approximately 10% negative ease, measuring approximately 1/2 inch or 1.3 centimeters shorter than foot length, and 1 inch smaller in leg or foot circumference.
And the same thing on the children's rule. So that is what I got. What did you get?
So, we stopped by. Once we do haul. So we'll do Friday haul. And I'll finish Friday haul, and then we'll talk about what was in the indie bags.
Okay.
So at Katrinkles, I got these earrings. They're the metallic, and they're a rib. So it's a knit pearl.
Nice.
And I really like them. I really wanted the ones that they were wearing. That I think Sarah from Katrinkles was wearing. But those are going to be in their holiday collection.
Ah, okay.
So I'm very excited to see those. Then 29 Bridges, I got more of my hexagonal stitch markers because hexagons are the bestigons. Speaking of, I think I have something in here that we should also I don't know where I put it.
I have no idea.
I have something else that is a hexagon bestagon. It's okay. We'll figure that out later. And then we went to Woodsy and Wild, and I got one of these dual pocket snapping notions bags. It has a clip here, or a ring where you can clip to here, and then inside one of the pockets, it has clips. It has a ring to clip stitch markers onto.
Also at Katrinkles, I bought a wooden ruler.
Oh.
You know, the retractable ruler. And that money went to...
No, that wasn't Katrinkles.
Sorry.
That was on Saturday, and that was not Katrinkles.
There it is.
Yeah.
Do you know who that was? Ah, okay.
So Woodsy and Wild, really like it. It's quite robust, and I really like the metal zippers. Because, yes, they eat yarn, but they also hold up better.
They do.
So I also bought yarn at Verse in their palette yarn base, which is the alpaca silk linen. And I think I'm going to make a dark academia colorwork sweater.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's that. Goes on the floor now. And then we stopped by Plied, and I had seen this colorway on Instagram. It's called Nya, based on a graffiti that is by the studio, and it says NYAA, Nya, and it's in these colors. So I got 4 skeins of their new worsted weight, which is called Pennsylvania Avenue. So I don't know what it's going to become yet, but it will be great, whatever it is. So I believe that is Friday.
Yes.
So also on Friday, as we were staff, we got a Untangled gift bag, or not gift bag, but swag bag.
Yes.
Which is really pretty. I like the design.
I like
this
it
year.
a lot. Yes.
And as always, good quality bag itself.
Yes.
Which
carried some of the food that we bought.
Yes.
Yes, so it held together quite well. And then in it, from 29 Bridges, was a mini skein.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they were different colors.
Yeah.
So
we were telling people if you didn't like your color, you could trade with your friends.
Right. And
we saw some of that happening.
92 yards, so
yeah,
not bad. So this will go into my mini collection
stash
over there, so I can use it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got
the new soak flavor.
Yes, got soak. We got. You said this was
that was from Saturday or Sunday.
You sure?
We were sitting. Yes.
Okay.
Then Mitchell Wool had a stitch marker and a sticker, which Mom's backing has started to come off of the sticker. Yeah, that sticker is losing itself.
We like the stitch marker.
Yeah, and they had a whole set of things that were for Flock's sake branded. Yep.
This was Murky Depths.
So
this is
Murky Depths Dye Works. That's what it is.
So this is a pencil sharpener up here and colored pencils within. I work with printed patterns, and I love marking off and making marks to know how far I've gotten in the pattern and things like that. So I find that this was a great gift. I was quite thrilled with the whole thing. Yeah, and then the one I don't see that you have out is from Signature Needle. We got a Signature Needle Arts. Gave us a little lucite sheep that I think you can wrap your ends on, because if you see the little mouth. Yes. Yeah. So I believe that was it. I think that is about it. We had a really good time. We did. We really had a very good time. Looking forward to next year. So that would be lovely. Yes. And then it was not something that I bought on Friday, but it was from a person who would have been vending on Friday at Woolen Folk. ShelliCan had her new t-shirt design, which is, we've got unfinished business, knit it, quit it, crafting co. For those of us who have a ton of whips. Oh, yes. Well, they'll get finished.
They will, eventually. But I thought it was cute, and I really liked her. This is my Rhinebeck sweater t-shirt, but it's yellow. And as much as I want to look good in yellow, I don't.
Doesn't look good in yellow.
I look ill.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, that t-shirt did not get ordered. But this one did, and it came... So I ordered it, I think, Saturday night.
Oh, it came already.
And it came on Friday.
Very nice.
Friday? Thursday? One of those days. But yeah, so I'm very excited about that. And I hope they also had a good evening.
Yeah.
Or good turnout. I heard they had a good turnout. And I heard that Cakapalooza also went well. So
very good.
I think everything there went well. So then I guess we're moving on to Saturday.
Where we also got up at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that we could get a good parking space. And we did. We went in the back way. Not Mulberry Gate, but further back.
A different entrance. Gate. Yeah. We had found last year because Mom tried to dead reckon to the Mulberry Gate and got it wrong. But then we found it, and this time I found an address right by there, and so I think I need to mark it on the
so we got well that nail is gone.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So anyway, we got through that gate. We couldn't park where we had parked last year because they had watchers already.
Yeah.
Last year we were really early.
Yeah.
I think we were like 8:30 instead of 9:20. And
well, Saturday, Mom and I woke up, like the alarm went off at 8. Mom rolled over and was like, "Are we doing this?" And I was like, "Well, I really want to go to this one. Like, I want to go see that." And she goes,
"Okay."
She goes, 5 more minutes. Okay, 5 more minutes. And so we slept an extra 5 minutes, and then it took us a little bit to get up and moving because we both were very stiff.
Well, we were
sore.
Stiff and we had worked 2 days.
Yeah.
So we got there about 9:20. We had to go a little bit further in, but we got a great parking spot. So I find that going in the back way is really quite helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was up and down a few hills, which is not what we did the second day. The Sunday we parked at Mulberry because we knew we were going to be buying the wines. And we were buying the wines at the last thing, so I wanted a flat distance to come back to the car, which worked out really well.
It did.
Yes, so we went immediately to...
So we went in the 4-H gate. We typically don't go in the main gate. We either go in 4-H or Mulberry or one of the back gates. And we went first to Thread and Maple, and I got my needle binder. And Mom got a... measuring tape.
Which the money went to a children's charity. So even though I've got tapes, measuring tapes.
Well, but that's also a good size. You won't lose it as easily.
Right. But I was really taken with the fact that they were donating to a children's charity. So that was a plus.
Are you going to show everyone that you also got a needle binder?
So while she's debating which color
I was debating which color I wanted.
I said, well, I'm going to get one of those, and I'm going to get whiskey.
Yep, and then I ended up with whiskey because, as you'll see, I also ordered something in their second sale. So Mom has currently her... Which guys are these? These are the...
Chaogu
Woodens.
Chaogu Bamboo.
Yeah, Chaogu Bamboo, Chaogu Metal, and the Haya Metals currently in her binder.
Yes.
We have...
And there's extra pockets in the back. For
I have double points in mine. So I have my Likey set.
Oh, I could put double points.
Yeah, I have my Likey set here. I have my Nova Platina Cubics from Knit Picks or Knitter's Pride. I have those in here. And then I have part of my Dreams set. I actually have doubles of most of these needles, so I might actually end up having to get a second page. And then I have my Dreams double points here, and I don't have it in that pocket. I don't know which pocket I put it in. I think I put it in this. In this pocket I have the
cords?
I have the cords in, I think, the flat pockets. And in this one, I have the big needles. I have my size 19s. Because I ended up this was my dreams were my first set, if you all remember, and I do have a full interchangeable set of that, which is from size 4 to size 19. But yeah, so this currently is holding all of my, or most of my needles that take the Knitter's Pride, Knit Pro, Knit Picks cords. I do think you and I might end up getting a second binder, just because we got the jumbos. We have the jumbos, and we still have some room, but I don't know that you could actually fit 7 pages fully loaded.
You definitely could fit 6.
Yeah. So we're gonna assess. But yeah, so this is beautiful. The quality is amazing.
Terrific.
I'm very pleased. And the reason I went with whiskey is because I think I talked about this last week, but I ordered the Notions wallet in their second sale.
You have to let me know when their next second sale.
I will. I found it by accident this time. So I've already put one of my measuring tapes. I put a pair of needles. I have
that's scissors, it looks like.
Stitch. That's what I meant. I put a set of my
embroidery scissors.
Yep, and I put a darning needle down there. So I think this will be good for projects when I take them to knit or to classes, because then you can put whatever needles you need for that class. I think it'll be really useful there.
Well, plus the individual pages fold out. So,
right.
For example, this page, which is my bamboo Chaogoose, you can take out.
This was the deciding factor for Mom. When she saw that they did this, she was like, cool, it's done, we're having that, thank you.
So that if you're going on vacation, often you're not quite sure what you're going to make, so you can take a set of the interchangeable needles with you, and you've got yourself covered. So, and then they go back very easily into the case. So I think that this will be very nice, very, very helpful in keeping my needles organized.
And the thing I'm really excited about is that it can go on a bookshelf.
Yes.
And so you're not digging in a box like or, you know, digging around in your, whatever your organizational system is to try and figure out what needles you have to be able to use.
Right.
So that was exciting. What just flung?
The magnet picked this box up.
Oh. So that was Saturday. We got those. I also picked up on Saturday. Oh, and we got
project bags.
The cork project bags if you bought a needle binder that day. And as I said, we got the jumbo size. I'm very pleased that we did. I'm very glad that we went, or that I was as vocal as I was about wanting to go and see them and get it. Because that was good, as they sold out. They sold out of a lot of their stuff, which is great for them.
Yes.
And then we went by Dragonfly, and I picked up, well, it was sitting there on the shelf, and this is the Canon Hand Dyes Bruce Yak DK base, but in color, you know, Dragonfly colors. This is actually, I think, her fall collection. So this is Fire in the Evening, so it's a variegated.
That's really pretty.
And then we've got, these are all named then after towns upstate, or not upstate, in the Hudson Valley. So this is Catskill. Then we've got Woodstock, which is this beautiful purple. We've got Kingston, which now has its own yarn shop and wine bar, so that's exciting. The yarn shop soft opened last weekend, and the wine bar will be soon. Red Hook. And Hyde Park is this lovely goldy thing. So yes, that's in here. And I think what I'm going to do with this is I think I'm going to do a stratified, which is from Amy of La Bien-Aimée book. which I will talk about in a little bit. But yeah, so this is great. The bag holds, as you can see, 6 DK skeins. And it has a hard bottom. So Mom is very excited to be able to have it just sitting on the floor. Also, we found, we need to just take a look. I found a Lazy Kate 3D printed.
Okay.
So that we can make that for you.
Sorry, I'm getting organized here while you're talking.
I noticed. So that, I believe, was it for Saturday.
No, not
for me.
For me, I was across the way from Dragonfly.
Yes.
Someone had made me aware of a tunic pattern.
Yes. A volunteer for at Indie.
Yes, and I'm going to modify it because it's an off-the-shoulder, it's a very wide neck tunic, and she wore hers as off one shoulder. I'm not that comfortable with a very wide neck, so I'm going to be modifying it so that it's a deeper cowl. Mm-hmm. And I actually have a pattern or two that have deeper cowls. I'll go through my sweater drawer and find exactly the sweater I want to mimic. But anyway, I know that the tunic pattern took 7 skeins. So we figured that out the night, well, Friday night. So I was in Chincoteague dyers,
mm-hmm.
and they had several colorways I liked. They really did. I was going to end up with one that was more of an aqua, but then I got taken by one that was called Oyster Bay. There's an Oyster Bay not more than 10 miles from here, and we often sail to Oyster Bay. It is a light lavender and an aqua blue, which is, it's, mm-hmm. you know, when I talk about it, it sounds ghastly, but I really liked it in person. My nose itches. So they had 5 skeins, they didn't have 7. So I ordered and paid for, just like I ordered and paid for the 29 Bridges yarn, 7 skeins of Oyster Bay from the Chincoteague dyers. So that was exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was Saturday.
Yeah. And then we went to dinner.
With Cassie?
Yes. And then hung out for a little bit, and that was good.
That was great. She came back to the house, saw our house. It was a really nice Airbnb. This year was great.
Yes.
Yes. And then Sunday, as I said, we got up again at 8 o'clock in the morning, very quickly packed, which really wasn't that hard because most of my yarn I ordered. Oh, so back at Saturday night, we were talking about how I was going to Miss Babs. I had seen the Rhinebeck colorway, and I liked it. It wasn't so much in your face, nor was it so much orange, and I just don't do well with orange. And I said, you know, that's really very nice, and I think it would be a nice tunic pattern. And I figured out that the tart has 500 yards, so I only needed 5 skeins of the tart. And one of our housemates said, well, why don't you just order it, because there may be a limit.
Well, because I was concerned that there was going to be a limit, or a 2 skein limit by Babs, because previously there has been. And
we
so
did
I
not
was like,
ask. So we don't know if there was a limit or not.
I didn't see a sign this year.
Right.
But I could be wrong.
And there were not extreme lines this year.
No.
So we don't know. But it was suggested that there might be a limit, and I might not be able to get 5 skeins of the tart. But I had already looked, and you could order it online. So Saturday night, I ordered 5 skeins of tart in the Rhinebeck colorway. And that also should be coming sometime. So I've got 2 tunics and 1 sweater's quantity of yarn that is arriving, which made packing really simple, since I only had the 4 skeins from Verse and my needle case holder to really pack at that point. Now, we kept several empty bags at the ready in my backpack, because we had already discussed and had gone and tasted on Saturday afternoon some of the New York wines that they have in the E building. And we said, we're going to go back. And my husband likes sparkling wine. Champagne, Prosecco, Cava. It doesn't matter what you call it. He likes that.
Well, except we came home with some, and he goes, "It's sparkling white wine." And we're like, we bought you wine.
That's right. We bought what tasted good. We bought what they had. Now, they didn't have sparkling reds, and they didn't have a sparkling rosé. We would have gotten that. There was a sparkling cranberry, but he agreed today he would not have liked that.
Okay.
So that was fine. And he's already had some of the wine that we bought. Good. So that was good. But the bags, like the Indie Untangled bag and the other bags worked really well. They're very sturdy, so that worked. And
I bought yarn.
Go ahead.
So Saturday at the Airbnb, we one of our fellow Airbnbers was telling us about some half-price.
That's right.
Alpaca, cashmere, all kinds of stuff from Persimmon Tree Farm as they are going out of business. So I actually, there's a third skein of this colorway in the bag, and then I got these two creams. And these are both 100% prime alpaca, and they are about 660 yards and 8 ounces. So they're double skeins, and they're about sport weight.
Right.
And then I got, this is 370 yards of a cotton nylon that is just so soft. So this might just become either a bralette or something, but I was like, it's too soft and my color not to.
Ooh, that's nice.
I know, it's called Bunny Bum cotton. So I got this. And then we were walking through everything again. And actually, a friend of mine had gotten this shirt at Neighborhood Fiber Co. It says, "Protect your rights like you protect your stash." So I picked that up, which was exciting because I really like that. And they do good shirts. So that is good. I'm just putting that back in its little sleeve for now.
I got a bag from Neighborhood
You
Fiber
did.
Company, which is hanging about here. Oh, here it is. It is the pattern that is on their new building. They are moving buildings
into the building that they own fully.
Yes, and so this is the pattern that is painted on their building.
Yeah, and
another really sturdy bag. So I'm quite excited about that.
Yes, we got to see Carita, and that was lovely. And yeah, and they were in a really good spot this year. They were they were next to Babs, or like across from Babs, towards the back of Building C. It worked out really well for them. And then I saw this place. They're called Felted Sky, and they do these little kits for needle felting. And I really liked some of their other things as well. So I might go on a needle felting binge. We'll see. But I got first the pumpkins, because it is pumpkin season, and so I thought those would be cute. And then I got a little succulent to maybe put on my desk at work. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. They come, here, I'll show you what they come with. So for this guy, they come with the instructions. They come with a felting pad, so you can use this to felt into and to build your things on. This guy has a pot, so he comes with his pot. Your 3 colors you will need, and a tube of, it looks like, so I've got 4 needles, two of 2 different kinds, and on the tube it tells you what color designates what what is best used for. So that's exciting. And they have a lot of YouTube videos on things of what to do. So that is very exciting.
And then we were sitting on the hill waiting for Shamika and her mom, and these people came along and gave us
stitch markers
and a lovely frothy drink stitch marker.
Yep. And then that was from Julie Aislinn.
Go ahead, you open it. And then here's another
Mm-hmm.
stitch marker that was given. And, you know, apparently a couple of their people hadn't come. So.
This is, like lotion, hand balm.
I
just took the tape off a little bit.
I know. When did you take
There
it?
we go. Okay. It's got kind of a lemony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
It's not bad.
So anyway, two people in their group where they normally get together at Rhinebeck to exchange stitch markers didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
So they had extras and they just kind of went around to
Well,
people.
it's anyone who shows up, it's welcome to give them out. And some people just didn't want to take them home, so they gave them to us, which was lovely.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And after that, we went to the food tent.
Yeah, and then we got wine and booze.
Absolutely.
But I think that's about...
Nope. I have mail.
Okay. I'm going to run for a moment. I have to use the restroom very urgently. Right. So I will let Mom talk about what she got, and then I'll be back.
Okay, so within this lovely paper from Saju, which is a French needlework company, and it's where I got the counter cross stitch for the Bayeux tapestry. I decided to order something from them. So first of all, I got these lovely little ornaments. Oops. And this is the Eiffel Tower. It says the Carte Tour Eiffel, yes. And then this is their Saju. And you can use these to hold your embroidery yarn. And let's see what came in this bag. Needles. So this is needles. So basically embroidery needles. Very nice. But here is the main purchase. So I got a rainbow assortment of embroidery threads. I am a sucker for a really nice holder of threads. I have something similar to this for regular sewing machine threads. In fact, I have a couple of them. And when I saw this from Saju, I said, this is really perfect because sometimes you only need a little bit of a color. And I love the fact that it does encompass the rainbow and that it will allow me to get really close to the color that I want to have. Now, there's quite a number. There's 3 blacks and there's 3 whites. So we do know that those are often colors that are used for outlining. So that certainly makes sense that they're the most volume in this package. So that is really great. I'm so looking forward to using those colors. What else do we do? So I have to say, I think that Untangled was a success this year. If any of you had comments about Untangled, we'd love to hear your comments. And then I enjoyed Rhinebeck also this year. I think I'm going to really enjoy getting the presents of yarn afterwards. Elizabeth knows that I bought 2 more pages for her needle holder. And they're waiting for Christmas and her birthday. So you want to see what I got?
Oh, yes. Sorry.
So I got some really cute embroidery needles.
Oh, very nice.
And then I got this.
Oh.
Isn't that nice?
That is very nice.
Yes. I love a rainbow package of
embroidery yarn.
Because you can find what you want.
Yeah.
So, and then they also sent 3 postcards.
Oh.
So we have Saju, and then we have buttons, and then we have a woman using an embroidery frame. So that's what came from Saju.
And if you really like it, we can go to, or we can order from Brooklyn General, because they have it too. And they also sent you those thread holders.
I already held those.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes.
So you already saw what came was the Notions binder. But I also ordered this week, as I said, the Amy Gillet worsted book. It's been out for about a year now, and it is not available online. None of these patterns are available online, or else I would have bought the digital version, because I like to have them digital. Yeah. So the reason I had purchased this one is because there are a whole bunch of patterns I like in it. Specifically, though, the one I wanted to know more about was the Stratified, which is in here.
Can't find it now.
It's okay. It's towards the end, I think, because I think they're alphabetical, maybe. Yeah. So Stratified, which is by Tiff Nealon, and I saw it a bunch of times at Rhinebeck, and it uses, I think, 4 to 5 colors. It uses 5 colors, and I have 6, so I can work that out, and see. Also, it calls for worsted weight, and I'm using DK, so that could cause, that could make the difference in the amount. So I'm very excited. I can look into this a little bit further and kind of work out what I want my color pattern to be.
God bless you.
We were outside at the party, towards the end of the party, and I got treed, I think. So that's the sweater I'm talking about. And that's the long version. I would probably make the cropped version, just because that's what I've been wearing more often.
Well, the cropped version hits you more at your waist.
Yeah, that's also part of it. And then there is a coordinating hat called Strata, which is lovely. But where are some of the other patterns? That's a lovely shawl.
It is a pretty shawl.
So there's a beautiful shawl. There is, this sweater. Let's see if I can find.
Cables.
Yes, Cables.
Cablelicious.
This is Perennial, and I think this is Noragon. It is. And it's delicious, delicious cables. So that was one of the reasons I got it.
Well, on Sunday with Julie Aislin's friend. No, it was the woman from Ireland, from Dublin's friend. Had a store-bought sweater, cabled sweater, where the cable had been knit, but then had been placed on the diagonal.
On the bias?
Doesn't matter. Diagonal is the way the cables were running.
Right, but if it were fabric, you'd say on the bias.
But I'm looking at making a pattern of it, so it's on the diagonal. So I'm toying with trying to figure out how to write the pattern for that.
I have ideas.
I already also have ideas.
Yeah.
So not a problem. So hopefully by this time next year we have a pattern for that. And that would be a pretty
for that gray.
pattern for that gray. Bingo. Got something to do.
And then there's this by Maxim Sear, which is called Yesteryears, which I saw also a bunch of at Rhinebeck. So,
yes.
But yeah, so I figured, might as well just get it, because
you want it.
Well, and there's a whole bunch of patterns in here. So then there's also the Canal Poncho by Nancy Marchand, which is beautiful, and also, like, I don't know that I'd wear the poncho, but I also really love it, so maybe I'll wear a poncho.
Maybe make it in small size.
Yeah. So it looks lovely, and I mean, if I do make it in a smaller size, it could be more of a vest.
Yes.
Which, given my temperature control changes since COVID, that would be probably a good move. And then there was one other in here, but the Stratified was like the kicker that got me to purchase it. I do like that one. And then there's Amina by Sylvia Watch Cherry. And that has kind of been in the back of my mind. So most of these, I would say, I'm interested in. And I was really pleased that I was able to get it. And then I actually bought one for a friend of ours for her birthday.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I'm very pleased. I'm a little frustrated that there is no download code, but it is what it is. It does come with a very nice ribbon bookmark. That's, you know, attached in the binding. So that'll be useful. And I do think that that sweater will be what,
lovely.
you know, especially out of that yak.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very funny because once again, I showed my color combination off to our friends at the house, and one of our friends goes, I don't understand your color combinations, but it always looks really good in the end.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, I know. We always have this conversation, how you're always like, I don't get it. And I'm like, it's going to work. It's all going to work. So
it does every year.
It does. So that's exciting. But that is about everything that has shown up.
Yes. Hopefully by this time next week, the rest will show up.
You'll have some yarn.
Yes. We'll see. I'm hoping to finish that shawl so that I could start on the ink.
You really want to start that ink.
I really desperately want to start that ink.
I know. Now that you've started to talk about it, I want to see if I can stash dive for a worsted weight one.
We've talked about ink and wink for years.
Yeah. Well, and I think my whole thing is I just don't wear cardigans, but I love the cables so much.
Just want something to just throw over.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't wear a lot of cardigans. I wear a lot of pullovers, but every once in a while you need a cardigan. So
well, and I mean I wear a cardigan at Indy when we're on staff, so people can see my T-shirt.
Right.
So that could be an idea.
That could be the idea.
But yeah, so that's our Rhinebeck haul, y'all.
I hope you all had a great time.
Yeah. If you went, I hope you had a good time. If you only shopped online with people who are doing sales or different specials, I hope you have received everything you ordered, or you are anxiously awaiting for it. But yeah.
And can't wait for next year.
Agreed. And with that, I think, well, we don't have any ends to weave in yet.
We're going to get back to work on the shawl.
Yeah. And we will talk to you all.
If not next week, the week
after.
Yeah.
Talk to you then.
Bye.
Bye.